this is Mark and Ola's place over at Mountain Maple Ranch, and the water has been moving all over the place this year as the snow melts. Mark lost a little small portion of his hillside, and before it got too far out of control, he grabbed his excavator and got the water going where it was supposed to go. But around our neighborhood right now, it is a hot mess. Driveways have been washed out, portions of the road are now treacherous, and we're trying to do everything we can just to stay on top of it. Because this is a county road that goes to public land, I have to let the county road maintenance supervisor know what's going on with the road. So I called him hoping he might offer us a little bit of help, but he quickly made it clear that we were more than likely on our own. The biggest issue we're having right now is obviously where the water's going. The creek is the low point in our canyon, obviously, and the water's trying to get to the creek. But because it has warmed up so much, we now have issues in places where we never had issues before. The amount of water coming off of our mountain is hard to put into numbers, but the water is coming off very fast. Assuming we don't get a whole lot more water coming off the hill than this, I think he's going to be okay, but my concern is we're not there yet. We got a couple more days before we're going to see the other side of this thing, I think. Just to give you an idea at how much water is moving around our place, this is what our road looked like before it turned into a giant mud bog. Every year we always have water coming off the hills, but never in the quantities that we have them now. This is what the hillside behind our house looked like before we lost about 5 feet and probably 30 yards of dirt down the hill closer to our house. Those are gopher holes bringing water from off of our property. Well, it's getting serious now. While I was working out there in the shop, I didn't even hear it, but the hillside came down and pushed the little sauna that we really don't even use. That's how much pressure. Completely pushed these garden boxes. And now it's holding everything else up. The house is about 2 feet higher, so it's got plenty of drainage, but if this can't get out, if the mud can't get out, or the pressure behind it can't get out, it's just going to keep pushing this closer and closer to our house. One of the things that I should have done, and I consciously thought about doing, was actually putting enough dirt across this ridge last year when I was moving all of that dirt around. One of the last thoughts I had is I should do something to control where the water goes when it starts to melt. When the snow starts to melt. We probably lost four feet of that hill. This is scary stuff. Probably the only reason the rest of that hasn't sloughed off right there is because of that tree. But there is still so much water up on the hill, and it is so warm. It's like 77 degrees. It's just too warm. if that water can't find a path out, it's just going to keep pushing and it's going to push up to the house. Last year when I was moving dirt around up here in anticipation of the rock wall that we will build this year, but last year I had the thought as I was finishing up, I should cut a trench across the top of this and give the water a place to go so it doesn't affect the hill. If I had left my solar panels up here on the hill where they'd been for the last few years, more than likely I would have lost at least one array. So what I just did diverted a lot of water back over where it should be, but still I'm going to watch this really close. If I'd left my solar panels up there on the hill, by the way, they would probably be laying down right there. This is what the road has turned into in the last few days as the water has just come off the mountain with a vengeance. This is what Cedar drives through to take the kids to school at least twice a day. Because this is a county road and because it goes to public land, I have to let the county know that this is as bad as it is. And frankly, I need to let them know that if there was an emergency of any kind above this point, okay, the public land is above us. If there was an emergency on that public land, if there was a fire at our house, anything, there is not an emergency vehicle in our county that could get through this right now. So I took a few pictures. I'm gonna go send a text to one of the county supervisors and see if they can help us, because this is pretty serious. The water needs a place to go, and on the right-hand side of this road is where the water is supposed to be. A little bar ditch along the right-hand side, and I can see that it's plugged, so I decided to drive my truck through that side of the road to get that bar ditch opened up. You know, call me crazy, but I don't like doing this to my truck, especially this truck. We build our vehicles to handle this kind of stuff, but this is not something we want to do on a regular basis, nor should we have to do on a county road. I tried to use my truck to get the water back in this this bar ditch, but as you saw what happened. This is what the road looked like about 3 days before the water really started moving around. Callie and Reed could ride their four-wheelers through that section of the road without any issues at all. We understand that living where we live comes with challenges, and this year is going to be an exceptional challenge, and we're up for it at the moment. We will see you in a few days with an update on our situation and an update on our shop and the progress we're making with the drywall. Thanks for watching.